Coach Magda, welcome to the Lessons of a Lashpreneur show, doll.
Hello.
Finally. Tell everybody where you're located and what your business is.
I'm located in Mississauga, Canada, in Port Credit part of Mississauga, and I had my lash business since 2017.
Nice.
And since then, it evolved into full-scale aesthetic studio.
Yes, ma'am. Many
Yes,
evolutions, as most businesses.
yes.
So, as I mentioned in the intro, Magda has been a coach in the Lashpreneur Society. How many years now?
Probably six, at least.
4, 5, 6. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
I remember the first time. So before the Lashpreneur Society existed, a program called Marketing Mastery Club. I just threw it out there. And here was this
right.
woman who started becoming obsessed with me and made me a little uncomfortable. I'm not gonna lie. She had a very
Ooh,
strong Polish accent. And I remember when the very first conference I spoke at was in Toronto, and you're like, we have to meet. And I was like, I don't know. Like,
right,
that
right.
never ended up happening. But ultimately, I saw how much you were helping in the community, how supportive you were. And then you and I became closer. And then it just kind of turned into coaching. And you've been the longest coach we've had. So congratulations.
Thank you, thank you. And it became me, Tara.
Yes. I love it. I love it. Yes, you support me a lot.
Yes.
So I mean, that's mainly why I wanted to bring you on today, because you have been so immersed in our community with hundreds and hundreds of business owners over the years. And so I thought, let's have a conversation around what we witness as people coming into the program, knowing that they kind of have a skill set they want to sell, but they have no idea what they're doing when they're running a business, and kind of what we
Right.
notice as the evolution as they start to focus and be more intentional about the business side of things. So what is it you kind of identify? Let's start with just like the number one thing that you think most new business owners in our industry are just completely oblivious and missing when it comes to running the business side of beauty.
Number one is they have no idea who the client is. They think that when they want to have a business, they just want body in on their beds, and they have no clue how to communicate, or they have no clue actually if they know who they actually want to attract. So that's number one. They think that just being there and posting on Instagram will bring them clients, but in fact is you really have to make the message that will connect with the person you want to attract.
Yeah, especially on social media. Social media has the reason why social media is not as easy as it was, let's say, even just pre-pandemic, is because there's so many more accounts and so much more content. So your content really has to stand out. And I always quote Marie Forleo because she says it the best. When you're talking to everybody, you're talking to nobody.
Nobody.
So
That's
just because they have
exactly.
eyeballs does not make them your ideal client.
Yes. And
Awesome.
then the other thing is people think they have to be in competition with, Susie down there's the street, when really once you find what you are doing differently or how to attract the people differently, there is no competition. I
Yeah.
personally never looked at my competition. I don't know what the prices are. I'm in Sola salons, and I have two lash artists right across from my door.
Yep.
And I don't even know what they charge. I don't even know what they are doing. I know we have totally different clients, and that's fine. We have 16 billion eyeballs on the planet, and we always find the eyeballs that will be attracted to us.
And you only need like 30 or 40 of them, you know?
Yeah, that's absolutely, that's all you need. Exactly.
Yes, I would agree with that. Like that's what we teach. Like first thing in that program is we call it MSC, your most favorite client type. So getting the target market is what we call it, of who you're trying to attract into your business, because the more specific your marketing is to solving a pain point for a specific type of person, the easier it becomes to get them in the door because they resonate with
Absolutely.
you, right? Right. People
And
can look at the Lashpreneur, right? Where it's I can teach business to anybody, and I do. I have
mhm,
a side hustle where I coach other business owners out of our industry. But the
right.
appeal of me is that I speak lash artist language. I was them. I understand your pain points and the lash clients and the application and the glue issues and all this kind of stuff. Therefore, I have a natural trust to
Yeah.
me because I speak to your pain points.
That's exactly. And even based on my personal, how I started my business, I literally started my business. I was hooked on lashes, of course, but I couldn't find a lash artist who'd be doing lashes very naturally. I was over 40 when I had my first lash set, and I didn't want to look like 20 years old going
Yep.
clubbing. I seriously didn't want to. And then I was thinking, there must be more women like me, my age, who are looking for just this natural 3 coats of mascara look. And
Right.
literally, that's how I became lash artist. I knew that there has to be a person like me there, and they will have the same need as me. And I hit the jackpot.
Yeah,
That was exactly what was needed.
I think if you're new, like young, I'll say younger in the industry, let's say you're under 30, sometimes you lack the perspective. Those that are older who tend to have more discretionary income, who are more consistent in their maintenance and their beauty routines, as opposed to maybe younger people who are a lot more in transition and a lot more budget conscious.
Right.
We don't want to necessarily look like we're 20 when we're over the age of 40 or 50. We think sometimes that looks ridiculous. Now, there are those out there that are, right? There are those that are trying to
Yes.
they're 20. That is a different target audience.
Yeah.
But I will say, if you think about your business, your target audience may not be you. And so
That's
creating
right.
marketing content and what you consume in your social media usage will be different.
That's true. Of course. It's what you want to. You have to have that connection with your client. Let's say you because you have to speak their language. You have to know their pain points. So once you figure out who you really want to attract, it doesn't have to be you. Like in my case, it was, me or people similar to me. But finding the thing that will help your client. It's not what you want. It's about what your client wants, what you can offer them that will help with their daily needs. So that's the most important.
Yes. Yeah. That's beautiful. Yeah. And then moving into what we call the USP, unique selling point, understanding what makes you different than your competitors. Like we just talked about. So if you have an understanding that I don't do the wet look or I don't do the mega volume, even though there may be 3 other lash artists within a 20-foot radius of you, if you're in one of those salon suites, you guys may all be targeting different people. You may want the 50-year-olds that want to look 20. Somebody else may want the 50-year-olds that want to look 50. Some of them may want the 20-year-olds who want to look 30, right? Like you can all have different target markets. And that's the thing about being able to understand what makes you unique. Some people may want moms. Some people may want the college students. Some people may want just those that want lash lifts. Some people may want lash extensions, right? It's a whole range. There is plenty to go around when you look for the evidence of abundance in clients and not, oh my God, there's so many lash artists or there's so many other beauty.
Absolutely. And that's the thing, like you're gonna attract, like you can have you and 5 other people next door doing exactly the same set. But when you are talking to different person in different language, one person will be talking to that busy mother who has no time in their life to get ready in the morning. And another person will be talking to that, I don't know, 40 years old whose kids are already out in school, empty nester, who just want to, take care of herself. And it's the same set, but different language, different approach to that client will attract different person.
Yeah, different marketing messaging for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about once people get into the Lashpreneur Society and we've got our hands on them, what do you find are kind of the most common questions we see in that group?
Oh, the first one is always like how I can get more clients.
Yep. So we start working them through. We'll kind of just briefly touch over the build module training, building your business, MFC, USP. Then we get into website. That I find can be a complete game changer to getting more clients in almost immediately.
I cannot even tell you, like before I even came to your program, before the Lashpreneur, I already was starting on my website. I remember how terrible it was. But my first thing was to make a website, to have a website, to be on Google, to be found when somebody was looking for me outside of social media. So that was so important. And so, that was the first step, really, because if somebody is not looking for businesses normally on social media, they cannot find you. They will not find you Googling your name
Yeah, they're just gonna fall
because
on
you
their
don't have.
keyboard and your web address just happens to populate.
Yeah. So it's not possible. So, and also having a website gives you that um, legitimacy in the world. Like already you have a website, you are a legit business, right? Like you are, even you are in your home doing your business. Like I started in my own house.
That's right.
I already had clients coming to me, even though it said, like it's home business, blah blah blah. It was already something important to have, and I was legit. So that's so important to have a website. Absolutely.
Yeah, before you spend any time, money, or resources on things like social media, you have to have a website. The whole point of social media is to drive them to your website. Now, a distinction is a booking website or a booking
Yes.
software or your booking page is not a website. If
Right.
all you're going to give your potential clients is your price point and your availability, you are completely missing the MFC and USP part that is
That's
going to
right.
attract loyal clients and the people that you want in your business.
And on this booking software, you cannot really post your portfolio. You cannot show your, work. So
Yeah, they're
you are
not
just
created
sending
to
them
be
to
marketing. Yeah.
book with me. But like, what am I booking? Who are you? What you doing? Show me the proof you are actually doing something.
Yeah. I actually kind of noticed this, and I think this is probably a very big distinction between business owners who are successful and those who struggle at any level, is being able to look at their business and their marketing through the lens of a potential customer. Because we have what's called knowledge bias. Like we know everything about our business, so we kind of skip
Right.
over what a stranger or somebody who has no idea who we are, what questions they might have, what thoughts they might have as they experience us in the digital world. So oftentimes I'll see, like Google ads, and I'll see what's written on the Google ad. I'm like, have you ever thought about what that is actually saying? Like, what does that even mean?
That's
Like,
right.
it's just,
Yeah.
it's funny when we start reviewing those things. And when you get to a website or you get to a booking software, we'll go booking software first. What is it usually booking softwares have at the very top of the page as soon as you land on the page?
All the bad things about my
Policy,
policy and cancellation fee and all the
bold,
bad
caps
things that
lock.
will happen to your client if they happen to book with you.
Right? If you cancel this and like all you're just having an emotional, like it's all about the money, right? As they're about to make the decision to book and they're like, maybe not.
No, right,
Right.
exactly.
And oftentimes what I see on websites that haven't been created either with marketing, you can have a pretty website, but it doesn't mean that it's going to actually work to book. On somebody's homepage, what are some of the interesting things that you've seen on a homepage before they go through our program and you're like, well, I don't know that I would have chosen that, but that's interesting.
um it's lots of places has all the information about me, who
Yes.
I am, how many awards I have, or how known I am, or whatever it
How
is. It's
lost I
all
was before this.
lot. Yes, whole bio, who I was, like my whole resume from my 30 years of work, and it's all about the person who is providing that service, when in fact it should be, what can I do for you visiting my website? That's the most important thing. It's like, bam, you open that website, it's like, I can save you time, I can save you money, I can do something for you, whatever your pain point is, I
Mhm.
can solve it for you. And then those 3 seconds introduction will hopefully make that person say, okay, I'm going to click some more and I'm going to see what this person is, really who that person is,
Yep.
or what this person is doing, or I'm going to check their portfolio. And not the I am this and I am this and I am about to be this.
Yeah. If you go through your website, just that homepage, the first page that people land on, and you count how many times you talk about I, we, me, if it's more than maybe 4 or 5, it's too excessive about you because your marketing is about your clients because they don't care about
Right.
you until they know that you
Yeah.
care about them. And they'll care about you more when they build relationship with you once they become a customer, but they will never become a customer if it's all about you.
Exactly.
It's not attractive. They're not there to pay you to tell you their life story.
And it can be about me as long as I'm telling you what I can do for you.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I think some of the other things that I see are it's not formatted well for mobile. Looks great on desktop. Yes. You go on mobile and you're like, I can't scroll. There's like 7 pages of scrolling of text because you're writing a blog on there. It has to be mobile friendly first. If anybody looks at your Google Analytics of how many users come from mobile, it's like 90% plus.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yep.
And first thing with our Lashpreneur members, when they are going through the website design module in our program, and they post their website for critique, we usually find those. Like I will go right away on my phone, because it's usually the phone is where we are looking at our group and in our members, so I can see right away what was the problem. And so we can point them out. And lots of people forget to put those book buttons all over their website. Like, you want that person to click that book button every 3, sentences. You want them to go to another step on your website, because if they cannot find how to book with you or how to contact you or where you are on your homepage, you lost them. Like they will not be going through the menu checking where the book button is. Like they won't.
Yeah.
They have
Don't
no time for
overcomplicate
that.
the booking process.
Absolutely.
And that goes back to actually going through your booking process from the client perspective to even see if it works. I've had even mastermind members where their ads were just not performing. People weren't booking, but they were getting clicks to the website. So we could see that.
Yeah.
It's like the ad was working, but something happened when they got to the website. So I went through their website to try and book an appointment. Oh, you got the Lashpreneur mug. I love
it. Yes, that was my mug for today.
Very on brand. So I went through their ad and all the way through to the booking, and there was something that was happening with the booking software. As soon as I click there, it would go to a blank page and it would never load anything. I don't know if that was just me, but it kind of made sense that's why nobody was booking, even though people were going to the website.
Yeah.
So being able to go through the customer experience from the second they see any marketing, whether it's a social media page, okay, on your bio, your link in bio, where does it go? Does it go to your website? Does it go to booking software? Booking software is a little aggressive, right? But have you gone through your booking software and looked at it? What happens when they book an appointment? Do they get an email? What is, do you have this pet peeve too? What is your take on people who put this setting on in their booking software where they have to approve the appointment, that it's not actually booked until the owner approves the service?
It's annoying, but on the other hand, like it's annoying, like, because if I'm booking this service with you, I want to, like, I want that instant confirmation as a client, right? But I understand sometimes why some people will actually, let me backtrack. I understand that in case of, let's say, hairstylists who need to find out more about the client and more about like the time slot they need. In case of our lash services, when we pretty much have set timing or set settings or whatever we offer, doesn't really make sense. So it depends on the service you are making or you are offering. That will be something that I would expect or not.
Yeah, I would say aesthetic services, it's unnecessary and it complicates the booking process, and it is annoying for clients, because I know for me when it's happened, I'm like, do I have the appointment or not? And then I have to like constantly be checking my email to see, is it confirmed or not? Or if it's not confirmed, do I still show up? So it's a waste of time. I understand that the psychology behind it is I need to make sure I can manage my schedule or whatever it is. Don't even have your schedule open for that time then.
Right. If you have, if you have your set schedules, you have set hours, then have those appointments confirmed right away.
Yeah.
Because that's what you yourself put your settings and put your boundaries and put your schedule out there. So why do you have to have that extra step of confirming person? If you have a problem with that client, then the problem is not the client. The problem is your policies.
Yeah.
Or you.
Oh, that's a good one too. Oh, we could go on a whole deep dive of that. Yeah, I think, and a lot of booking softwares now have limiting gap features where they don't book more than like 30
I
minutes
love it.
space. They have where
Yeah.
they only show a certain amount of appointments, so it looks like you're
Mhm.
busy.
Yeah.
Those are really great features, but
Yeah.
requiring clients to like wait to confirm an appointment, it's unnecessary administrative time that you have to take to go in and approve. Or even, can you imagine, like, you booked the appointment, it's not confirmed, and then the person tries to reach out to you to like reschedule it, and you're like, why did I even spend all that time trying to go
Right.
find a time that worked for me if you're just going to change it anyways?
Right. Exactly. Like clients, when they are looking for appointment, they are specific. Like if they see that time in your schedule, that means that's something that works for them.
Yeah.
Adult time, for example, like if I have a schedule and something is not working in my schedule, I will reach out to the client and ask if something else, like different date or different time, earlier, later, works with them. But it's not that often, right? Like this is my set schedule, so whoever comes at that time, it comes at that time.
Yeah.
That's why for personally, I don't leave any gaps between appointments. I don't want to have one client at 11, another at 5 o'clock, right? So if I have 5 o'clock, then another one will be showing at 4 or 7 o'clock.
Yeah. And I think to some extent, if you have your operating hours more than maybe 6 or 7 hours in a day, that's probably the issue. I know a lot of times newbies want to keep their schedule wide open as people book, and they'll adjust.
Sunday night,
Yeah.
Saturday, 6 a.m. Yes.
Yeah. No, you're not creating a business by intention. You're creating a reactionary business, and it creates a lot of stress, a lot of admin work, and a lot of headache, and a lot of time consumption. So you actually can be more fully booked if you had less time available, believe it or not.
Correct.
And when you get fully booked, you have more demand for your time. Therefore, you can charge more because there's less time available. So there's a strategy behind it.
And also one of the things, the reasons we should set up our hours according to what we want to work, not what our clients want, is because then you attract this exact client who this schedule will work for.
Yeah.
So, for example, we all probably started at the beginning taking those late night appointments from clients who, were coming to us after their 9 to 5 job. And then suddenly, after being fully booked those evenings, we decide, well, you know what? I really don't want to work till 10 p.m. from like 4 to 10 p.m. I really want to work mornings. Then you are losing all the clients and you're starting from scratch. From the very beginnings, set up your hours how you want to work. Of course, lots of people start their businesses while they are still working their full or part-time job, and that's fine. But have in mind that end result, what your ideal hours you want to work. There is so many younger people who have young children and they want to start their business. You should aim at that 10 to 2 time slot because your children are in school. That's when your clients. So figure out who is that client who will be coming between 10 and 2, because then you will be fully booked with people who want to come when you are working. You are the person who is responsible for your time and setting up your time and your business, not your clients.
Yeah. I think that also just kind of adds to creating a business by intention. And what I often reference is, would what you're creating now work if your business was 5 times the size or 10 times the size? If you had 5 times the client, would these processes and this schedule and this volume and this price point and all of this still work, or would it break? Right. And so, I understand the hustle and when you're just trying to squeeze in clients wherever you can because you have another job. We talk about, and we haven't talked about this in a long time, but phasing out of full-time work into going into your own business, it's not necessarily a cut-off point. You stop all revenue elsewhere. To me, that's irresponsible if you don't have other means of support, like another partner that's taking care of you. But if you want your business to fully support you, I don't recommend quitting your job and then opening your business and figuring it out then, because you're going to make very poor decisions out of desperation.
Absolutely.
Go work at Starbucks, go work somewhere where you're not in some sort of competitive situation where you're at least funding you, supporting yourself while you're learning how to grow and build.
Absolutely.
And your business will take care of you. It
took me 3-4 years before I had full-time job, well paid, but I eventually needed that. Right. I had full-time business. I was doing it in the evenings and on the weekends. And my goal was, I knew that my boss is retiring in some years, and end up being 4 years later when he had set up the date. I'm retiring this year. By then, I was fully booked in my part-time running my business. And the moment it's actually before he retired, actually, COVID happened and we were shut down for 18 months. But when everything happened, the transition happened, I was coming to my business with my clients. What happened after COVID, everybody knows. Kind of, everything was shaken up by then. But I had a business to go after transitioning from my boss retiring, basically. So it's not going to happen over time or overnight. You can really be as slow as fast as you want.
Yeah.
Just don't train yourself with just quitting your job and then not having clients, and then renting a place and having all those expenses, right? Like you can be as slow as you want. Mind you, that will take then lots of your personal time out of your life, but you can really set up your business smartly without really risking losing your home or losing, I don't know, putting bread on your table.
Yeah, it can happen quickly. What we've found though is if you're coming from a desperation spot, like you have to make money yesterday, you're that much in the hole, you start to make decisions that actually work against you and it takes longer. Whereas if you
Absolutely.
have, like if we're talking like if you're brand new, getting business started, it's one thing to learn the skill set of your service. It's another skill set to learn business. Do yourself
And
some
marketing.
favor and learn how to get clients in the door. What is a profitable price point? How many clients you need? Like understanding your numbers makes it so much easier so that you can go, okay, when I get 3 clients a day, 3 days a week, that's my date to then move fully away from any other work and go full-time in my business. You can have that kind of goal to work towards, as opposed to sink or swim, we're jumping in all Hail Mary.
And also one of the biggest mistakes or biggest thing that new people in a business do is I'm checking the prices of everybody else around me and setting my price based on that. But guess what? That 20 years old competition I have lives with their parents and doesn't have to pay rent when I have a condo and mortgage and car payment. So my price, even though I am starting as well, I had to set it up higher. I just couldn't afford to offer the same price as this person. I absolutely couldn't.
You also can take less clients with a higher price point. So
absolutely, like I wanted to. I only had 3 hours a day to basically work. So that at the beginning meant really one client a day. So I had to set up my prices. So it was worth it. After all the products and after paying whatever I had to pay, my website, blah blah blah. I was not getting $10 an hour because it was not really worth me working.
Yeah, that's valid. Yeah, we talk about inside the Lashpreneur Society, we talk about break-even pricing to determine how many clients you need at what price point to make sure that you're set up to even just break in with a very few small clientele. And then we look at goal income pricing, which is the next step. Like once you know, okay, I need this many fills or this many of this service to break even. Now, how much do I want to make and what does that look like in the business? Because I want you guys, if you are new to the industry or you just kind of haven't really dove deep in the numbers, I want to caution you that when people say how much they make, you got to question, is that how much the business made or how much they take home? Because I will say, and I haven't seen a survey done in a while, maybe we should do one, that the average take home for a lash artist is under 50K a year in US dollars. Now, our members tend to see that much higher because we're talking about financials, we're talking about marketing. But when you see somebody, oh, like I made 6 figures last year, chances are it's probably the business made 6 figures. They probably made maybe 50, 60K of that if they ran their business very lean. If most of them don't. So I think that's where it gets into that under 50K mark, even when the sales are 100,000. So always just kind of filter the information you're getting. They used to have a lot of these, we used to have these educators put these little graphs out of you can make $144,000 a year. And if you look at the graph details, it says that you're taking something like 7 full sets a day.
A day.
7
That's
days
like
a week for a year, 52 weeks in a row. That's what, 7, so 7 full
at
sets
least 14, 15 hours a day.
14 hours a day, 7 days a week, 50. Sure, you can make 144K, but what did they emphasize? The 144K that the business would make. But you're dead and you're broke and your hands and your body are crippled and you have no life and you have no sleep. Yeah, you're just a puppy mill of lashes. So
and you actually, you will be extremely lucky making like having those 7 sets a day, right?
Oh my God, they'd be great at marketing. If you could get 7 new clients a day every day for a year,
you have to be
genius.
You have to be the only lash artist in the whole New York.
So you have to be really good at marketing, but suck at your job because nobody's coming back for fills.
Right. No, you have no time for fills. You know, so then you send them to somebody else.
Yeah, the money math wasn't based on them coming back for fills. It was just full sets. And if you're doing 2 hours a full set, that's 14 hours. That was just, I mean, some creative mathing. I appreciate the hustle.
It was, yes. It's insane how, you know, and it's still around. It still shows that, and it's sad. Sad.
Business is simple. That doesn't mean it's easy, but it's simple. You just have to build an audience and sell them what they want. Then fulfill on that. Be like a good person. Okay, let's talk about this one last thing. Because we talk a lot about marketing, but we also talk about like client management, the foundations of running a business so that you can understand what a business is. On the client management side, what do you think the number one thing is that we have our students ask questions about or that they need to enforce when it comes to client management?
Policies, I think, are very, very important, and creating boundaries for sure. Having your cancellation policies not listed on the very front of your page, somewhere at the end, but really setting the boundaries with clients, and also really being different than anybody else, in a sense of really giving them this winning consultation, and then all the follow-ups with clients. And there is lots of things to that, you know, client management, but really having the setup where clients know exactly what your business is about, what they can expect, and then giving them this great customer experience, and also following up with them, making sure they are happy with their service.
Yeah, which goes back to policies, because your client satisfaction policy should be a part of your policies. So the best way to avoid an unhappy customer is to establish the expectations long before they're unhappy, right? And I know a lot of people like get weird and confrontational or uncomfortable about having policy conversations, but it's way better than getting a bad review and having to deal with that. Right. So we have, I mean, we teach the policies, but it's not just a clear communication of policies, which I think most new business owners suck at. They're like, well, they checked the box on my booking software. Nobody reads that, right? No. You have to actually sit down and have a conversation with them, and the piece of paper written out that they can sign so that everybody's on the same page.
Right.
That way they can't go, well, I never knew that, because chances are they're not reading it. Now you can enforce it that they, you know, check the box saying they read it, but is that really a great client experience? And is that really retaining the customer and making for a happy customer? No. So policies really just talk about how everybody wins in the business, how the client wins, how you win, how the business wins. That way we all get to have a happy relationship. It's kind of like a prenup, right? You're just establishing the terms if things go wrong. We're not planning on that going wrong. But the biggest one that we have is like the cancellation no-show and the client satisfaction guarantee, because you want your clients to know that if you're unhappy with the service or the results or the experience at any point, let us know so we can try to fix it, instead of going on, you know, on social media or on Google reviews and just ripping you a new one.
And that's why I love having the online booking system where starting with my confirmation email to my reminder email to my like 24 hours before reminder. I sent, I think, 3 emails before somebody comes. They have those policies written very nicely, not like you have to do this. It's like just a reminder, blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
And they are aware, like out of 3 emails, maybe they read one. Sometimes they don't even read that one. That's okay. But you have that policy somewhere reminding you of the policy. Then after they leave, 20 minutes later, they get my aftercare instruction email, reminding them, if you are not happy, please let me know. You have 3 days and we no charge, no question asked. Even if you, I don't know, straight from me went to the pool and jumped in the pool and you lost your lashes. I literally have no question asked policy for 3 days.
Yeah.
And because I really want, like, I don't want this person who had their lashes for the first time. They, even though they got my aftercare instruction written and verbally given to them, they might not remember. I want them to be happy at the very end. And, if something happened, if they have an accident like that, or they open summertime, they open the barbecue and they, that's how that happens, right?
Melt your lashes.
I really want them to come back, to have that, trust that if they admit to the thing, at least I know what happened and I can fix it for them and everybody's happy. Like it will take me probably 15, 20 minutes to help them with whatever happened to their lashes. But at the end, there is my 5-star review.
Yeah.
For providing exceptional customer service.
Correct it. Yeah. And have amazing customer service. And I know sometimes, I've seen this quite a bit actually, that when a client is really unhappy, but the business owner, A, controls their emotions about it, B, comes up with a solution that the client then accepts, that becomes a very loyal customer. Because I would say almost most beauty businesses will get defensive and blame the client and they've completely lost that relationship. And then we have a bad review out on our review sites. Like it just kind of spirals because people let their emotions take over, as opposed to how much cheaper it is to just even spend an hour fixing something. Now we have a client coming back every 2 to 3 weeks or once a month for months and months and months and months. It's much cheaper and more cost effective to be able to do it and fix whatever the issue was, and allow them the opportunity to come to you to get it fixed, as opposed to them venting online, which can be much more damaging. And that's why
absolutely, because unhappy clients will tell 10 other clients. Happy clients will only tell 3.
Yep. Love that. All right. So let's just do this as a rapid fire question. What is your number one tip for somebody who's starting a new business inside of the beauty industry?
Know your numbers.
Yeah. There's your money. No,
you have to know how much that will cost you to start your business. You have to know exactly how much you will be paying in terms of your rent, in terms of your monthly expenses, in terms of how many clients you will need or how to set up your price point in order to actually pay even for just the expenses, and then think of how much money you want to make. Like really, just skill set, and like, oh yeah, now I know how to do it, and then I'm starting doing it. It's not gonna help you with starting your business successfully. You have to have the data, you have to have the math, you have to have the money to actually start it.
Yeah. If you want to make money in your business, you kind of got to track the money so you know how much is coming in and how much is going out. Otherwise, there won't be any left over, which is what we call profit. And that's where your pay comes from.
Right.
Yeah.
And you have no idea how many times a year, probably average every 2 or 3 months, I am going back to my break-even pricing worksheet and the goal income, because my goal income is changing constantly. Like this year I want more money than I needed last year. Heck, like 3 months ago I didn't have the plans I have now, so I have to actually adjust my pricing, adjust my expenses, and work with that in order to achieve my goals. So it is very important to know your money at all times.
Beautiful. I love that. Well, thank you, Magda. I really appreciate you taking the time to do this.
Thank you.
Gem You know, our Lashpreneur Society members know Magda well. So thank you so much for coming on today, and we'll talk to you guys next time. Have a good one.
Thank you so much, Tara, for having me.